Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Rob, and I have some good news for you guys, all right? The Tacoma is back in the garage, guys, all right? It's finally been fixed. All the issues that was having finally all ironed out. I'm still not driving it, though, because I have to let the new paint cure for 2 weeks before I get the paint protection film reinstalled onto the bumper. So in the meantime, I'm just patiently waiting. But that does give me an idea for a video that I want to make because it is something that I have been asked quite a bit in regards to the new fourth generation Tacoma that is already available to be built on Toyota's website and will be hitting dealerships soon. Do remember, guys, mine is a third generation Tacoma. It is a 2022 Tacoma TRD off-road model in Lunar Rock. So I have been getting asked quite a bit, what are my opinions on the new fourth generation Tacoma? I will preface this by saying that you'll probably notice that a lot of the third generation Tacoma owners, they're not too enthused with the fourth generation. But I'm not gonna lie, when I look at the third generation Tacoma, how should I say, sort of a user base of them, you can definitely see that they do have more of an old school mentality in terms of being a little bit hesitant on trying new technology, which I get it. Part of the allure of the third generation Tacoma for a lot of people is that, it's a motor that Toyota's been using for a very long time. So you'd expect they're not your kinks because a lot of people who buy these kind of vehicles, they're looking for something that's going to last a really, really long time. They're not like me, where it's a little bit sad to say, but after only a year or two, I'm already looking for what's going to be the next vehicle I own. So I get it. But I want to say, what I really think about the fourth generation Tacoma. I'm going to compare it to my Tacoma in four main aspects: looks, performance, price, and the technology. And then let me give you my overall conclusion on it in the end. Look wise, I do think the new fourth gen Tacoma, I think it looks actually pretty cool. So if you've seen the new Tundra, it's pretty much just looks kind of like a little bit miniaturized. The bumper is definitely a lot more radical, a bit more stylized than third generation. Now I do think the third generation looks really nice. I think that, especially because I have mine all dialed in nicely with the nicer grill in front and the other little things added to it, it has a nice rugged look to it that just screams practical, but with also a little bit of style to it. Fourth generation, it has that new edge truck look. A lot of the new trucks, they have all that look now. It's not a look that really says, "Hey, I'm gonna last you hundreds of thousands of miles," but it's a look that says, "I'm here, I'm in style, I'm cool, and we're still gonna have a good time." I I'm not gonna say one is better than the other. I still really like how mine looks, but I will say the fourth generation, it does look really sharp in the front. Performance, guys. Now it is no secret at all. The new Tacoma it performs better. When you read the reviews, you will see that it is a better performing truck. It's not miles and miles better, but look at it this way, right? My third generation Tacoma, I went ahead and I got the engine tuned up, and with the CVC tune, it definitely made it a lot better. So I think for me, I think the fourth generation, especially with the IMAX four-cylinder hybrid, I'd probably say that would probably be perfect for me. Unfortunately, I don't have that, but I'm still all right with just having my 2022 Tacoma with its kind of dated by now Camry engine. That is a bit of a slug, but the tune does save it a bit. Now, a lot of people like to remind me that performance isn't all that matters, especially because it's a truck, but it is also nice to have a truck that's not a complete chore to drive. So I will definitely be giving the performance aspect to the fourth generation. I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of power people are able to pull out of it, especially with just like a mild tune and some mild upgrades. If you guys don't know, when you deal with turbo engines, it's usually a bit easier to squeeze out some power. So I'm really curious to see what people are able to do with them. That's why I really just can't wait to see when they're actually out there on the streets. The price, people. This is something that so many people are not happy about. I don't blame them. It does suck that everything's getting more expensive, but guys, everything is getting more expensive. Toyota is not immune to what has been going on and why everything is going more expensive. I mean, I'm pretty sure last time I looked, the cheapest Honda Civic you can buy right now, base model, brand new, you're looking at about $24,000. That's quite a bit, you guys. It's insane. That's just the way it works. I will say though, it is a pretty good, price increase. If you go on Toyota's website and try to build a Tacoma, you will see though that there are also a lot more options available. There are a lot more things being offered. So something that I think is worth mentioning is that I feel like what a lot of people are doing, and I don't think this was really the right way to go around it. They're remembering, okay, a fully optioned out TRD Pro Tacoma was about like 55, 60 grand. So then I feel like people are going to Toyota's website and they're just clicking everything to make it, a fully loaded Tacoma for the fourth generation, and then they're, surpassing 65, even I think I saw 71 grand. I feel like it's worth remembering though that you are getting a little bit more from the fourth generation fully loaded than you were from the third generation. So the way I did it was I actually went ahead and went on their website and I built a Tacoma to pretty much mirror my spec as best as I could, just to see how much of a difference it was. So full disclosure, my third generation Tacoma is a Tier D off-road with all the bells and whistles, has a nicer sound system, multi-terrain monitor and all that. The MSRP was about $45,000. All right, so I tried to build something very similar to that. Fourth generation Tacoma, I came out to about $52,000. So that is a $7,000 difference in 2 years. When you look at inflation, all that stuff, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if you guys have noticed that whenever a new generation of a car or truck does come out, it always is to me a few grand more. And then add in the inflation. And to me, guys, it's not too bad. I mean, I get it. It does suck, This does price out some people who might want one. But I'm actually more curious if we're just going to see more of a shift towards people buying the SR and SR5 models and modifying those. Because for the third generation, everyone's saying that because the prices aren't too bad, to just buy the Tier D off-road and then go ahead and just mod up that one. So I think we might just see a bit of a shift. We'll still see some fourth generations being adopted, but they won't be going for the off-road when they're going to tear it all apart anyways. So we'll see on that. So again, I do think the price sucks, but I understand it 100%. Here is where a lot of third generation and even some second and first generation Tacoma people don't like it. That's because, it's new technology. They're like, why would we want this? It's new technology. It might break. It might not be good. This is a new motor that they're putting in there for the Tacoma, especially the turbo IMAX motor, 4 cylinders, why not 6? All this stuff that they like to say. I mean, guys, you guys have to remember, every single car out there was, the first of its kind at one point, all right? There are going to be people who want to try that, and that's all right. I don't think it's bad. Now, I will admit there are some things that the Tacoma does come with, the new Tacoma, I should say, that I'm not too enthused about. For example, that seat, was it the seat shock absorber technology that's going to be in there? That does seem a little bit gimmicky to me, I'm not going to lie. But in terms of like the actual engine and the transmission, I think that's awesome. I am all about, upgrades, new technology. You know, if you didn't know, I try to buy cars during their first year or two. Also because that way it kind of stays relevant the longest, if you know what I mean. When I bought my Mustang, I bought 2015. I wanted the very first year of the new redesign. And that proved cool because, I had about 7 years where it was, the top, generation. It wasn't old news yet like it is now because the new S650s are out. I bought my Super because I wanted the second year. I would have bought the first year, but honestly, I still had a lease I was dealing with. Got the second year of the new, Toyota Supra. I usually try to get the newer models when the new generation is out. It's because it's also just fun to get to try new things. I enjoy kind of being that first adopter and also just getting to share my experiences with others. So I guess, I am 100% cool being a guinea pig. And also, if you're like me and you do stuff like, for example, the YouTube stuff, sometimes it can pay to be a first adopter. Sometimes it's pretty useful. I mean, I do understand people who, they want their trucks to last. hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. So yeah, I can get it that they would probably still prefer to find a used third gen rather than go fourth gen. That's 100% okay also. But I just don't think that it's really worth hating the new tech so much when we still haven't seen it prove itself yet. And honestly, I guess the way I look at it is if it did end up sucking, I'd probably just sell it and get something new when the warranty's up anyways. So overall, would I sell my own Tacoma for the new Tacoma? Probably not, honestly. The Tacoma, when I bought it, its main goal is to be like the sort of daily that's always around in case I need it, that kind of stuff. And third generation or fourth generation, either Tacoma would do the job of doing that for me. Now, I do think the performance is a really good, benefit, the big performance increase, but it just isn't enough to make me really want to sell, my Tacoma and essentially, pull out a new car loan, deal with the dealerships again to get the newest one. But I do still think that it's a very impressive new truck, and I am very, very, motivated to really look into how it's going, especially a year or two into it. See what problems I come up with it, and really just see them on the road. I'm going to be so stoked when I finally see one on the trail, just to see how it is at tackling the same things as I do, and also just getting to talk to the owners of it. So there you have it, you guys. One third generation Tacoma owner's opinion on the new Tacoma, and I do think it is positive. I think they had good intentions with this truck, and I really can't wait to see it on the road. I can't wait to meet other people who have it to see really how it is. I'm going to be stoked to see it on the trail for the first time. Let me know what you guys think though. And as always, guys, this is Rob, and have a good one.